Chapter 1, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the custom card review. Like I promised in the video that was before this video, that I said, and in that video, after that video gets uploaded, then I make this custom cards. So, let's jump right down to the business thing. So, this archetype that I am going to review is called the Satellite Hero. I don't know how to say it correctly, so I'm going to use the sometimes CELEST IAL.
Celestial Hero.
Celestial's Hero. So, this is the combined of two archetypes and a anime character from Yugioh GX that I picked for this fusion. So technically it would be like her archetype. So without further ado, let's go over and each one of them represents like different how characters usually represent. The Celestial Hero Alexis. Hold on, before sure. Sometimes there's a machine. So this is the Celestial Hero Alexis. She's a light level 4 warrior effect monster. If this card is summoned, you can add one celestial spell or trap card. So basically in this archetype. Technically they all are celestials, but I just added a word hero to separate them. So, yeah. So then so this card can search out, is like a searcher. And then, once per turn, quick effect, you can target one hero monster or one satellite cannon. And then monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can select one spell or trap card on the field, banishes it to the banish zone. If you do, then you can special summon this card to your field. You can only use each effects of this card for once per turn. It might sound crazy, but but it's a searcher and it's a booster. And so then we got one of the it searches out like spell cards / trap cards. So this one doesn't count. So this is called Celestial Hero
Celestial Hero.
Celestial Hero Cyber Her Girl. She's a light level 4 machine effect monster. If this card is normal or special summon, you can select one Celestial Hero card from your deck to be added to your hand. Inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent's life points. So basically, it can, once you add a card to your hand, so she basically, if it was animated, it would have been like, she lifts her arm up and shoots a big old laser at you, at your opponent, boom. And then it has, once per turn, quick effect, you can pay 1,000 life points to destroy all cards from your opponent's shield. This card can attack all monsters on your opponent's shield. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your field. Wait. If this card is sent to the graveyard, banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon 2 Celestial Hero tokens, level 4, attack 2,000, defense 1,000. Yeah. And their attributes are dark and type machine, and then 2, your field and attack mode. You can only use this effects for once per turn. So if you somehow kill it off, or if it gets sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 3 monsters, or no, basically 2 monsters to your field. If somehow your opponent gets, or manages to kaiju it, basically. Because it says sent. It doesn't say destroy and sent, but it just says sent. They all have built-in Sangan's effect before it got eroded. Because I remember it said if it got sent to the graveyard. Okay? So I'm doing the monsters, then spells, then traps. So, yeah. So then the I can't say it.
Celestial Hero.
Celestial Hero, the Super War Lion. These are Earth, level 4, Beast, Effect Monster. And this card is always treated as a Super War Lion monster on the field. So, yeah. This card is normal summon or special summon. You can select one monster on your opponent's field. It gets shuffled into the owner's deck. Both players draw 2 cards from the top of their decks. And also, both players takes damage equal to that shuffled monster's attack points. Original attack points. So basically, it doesn't say destroy, so no I can't get summoned, And this card can attack all monsters. So reason why I made this card a retrain of a ritual card. Let me show you what I mean. So, yeah, I did not realize that they had. So, Super War Lion. So, this one. Here, there. So, by itself, Super War Lion needs to have more effects to be added to him. So that's why I created this monster to represent like that. So then we got Soul of the... Make sure that's... Yeah, there's 3 boss monsters. So, Soul of the Celestial Heroes. He's a dark level... He's a level 7 machine type monster. And effect. If you have 1 or more spells and trap cards in your graveyard, you can normal summon this card to your field in attack mode without a tribute summon. So, I really haven't created one like this. So, because I think this is, yeah, so, from your hand or deck. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points. Or, no, not 1,000. 100 and life points. Activate all spells and trap or spell cards from your graveyard, like if they were on the field until the end of the turn. So it means that if you use Pot of Greed that turn to draw 2 cards, or Spellbook of the Pot, none, like the manga card that allows both players to draw 3 cards. If you had 3 copies of them in your graveyard, you could activate this card's effect, and all of them, like all 3, would make you draw 9 cards again. So that makes you have 18 cards. Yeah. And this card can attack all monsters on the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card, special summon 3 level, or special summon 1 level 3 or higher monster from your deck or hand to your field in attack mode. So then we got Celestial Hero, the Satellite Cannon. It says the Satellite Cannon, not just Satellite Cannon, not the one that I just had a minute ago. No. Not this version. No. It says the Satellite Cannon. And the artwork, yeah. And it's a dark level 7. This card is treated as the satellite cannon on the field or in the graveyard. If this card cannot be destroyed by battle with a level 7 or lower monster. During each of your end phases, this card gains 2,000 attack. It's a little bit higher than, but if this card attacks, this card increased attack returns to 0 after damage calculations, and also it cannot be targeted by card effects or by battle. Because to me, it feels like this is just a cheap knockoff version. Like, basically, like, it cannot be targeted. So, the upgraded version, this one, is basically your opponent can't target it for card effects or by a battle. So, like, yeah. Because you can't really hit the satellite unless you have a... But it can't be tributed. That's a downside. So now, the final big boss monster of the archetype is called Goddess of the Celestial Heroes. She's a light, level 12 fairy effect monster. And her effect is, this card cannot be normal summon or set. Must first be special summoned by tributing 3 monsters on the field to the graveyard. So basically, it means that I really don't know if it means that you can tribute 3 monsters on your field and your opponent on it. But yeah, to the graveyard. And then if this card's summon cannot be negated by card effects or by your opponent's card effects. And once per turn you can toss a coin and then activate one of these following effects. So basically, heads destroy all cards on the field except this card. So basically, like, destroy them, send them to a graveyard. And then it inflicts 500 damage to your opponent's life points for each cards that was destroyed by this effect. And tails, each player draws 5 cards from their deck to their hand. So then it has a graveyard effect of, if this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, quick effect, you can shuffle this card into the deck, inflict 4,000 damage to your opponent's life points. So basically, if your opponent decides to kill it by, basically, goodbye, boom, your opponent, it gets double whammied or triple whammy if it lands on heads. Because there's 5 monsters always on the field. There's 5 monsters, 5 spells, but minus this card. So that makes it have... So 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 49, 50. So, basically 45, I think, damage, because of each one is 500. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Yeah. Because minus this card. So, yeah. So, now we are onto the spell cards. And how long has this video been checked? Let's check. Sometimes it... Okay. Okay, 19 minutes. Okay. So, spell cards. Let's start with Chains of the Crystal... Or I keep saying crystal because...
Celestial Hero.
Celestial Hero. So, Change of the Celestial Heroes is a equip card. So you can equip this card to a monster on the field. And it gains this following effects for once per turn. This card cannot declare an attack and cannot activate its effects until the equipped card leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, quick effect, you can shuffle one card from your graveyard into the deck, inflict 3,000 damage to your opponent's life points. And if you do, then shuffle this card into the deck. So it basically, you would have shuffled, or first effect, like on field, like if it's equipped to a monster, and that monster cannot be like used to basically attacked, cannot attack or activates its effects. So basically, like, it is weaker than skill drain, because usually skill drain usually cancels all monsters. This one cancels out one monster per time. So it also has a special built-in effect where it can also, every time someone uses it, like every time someone uses the opponent's cards, or like equipped it to, like, say, a XYZ monster, it can also turn them into the Celestial Heroes versions of themselves. That's a built-in effect. It doesn't say it on there, but it says, yeah. So then we got the Spaceship of the Celestial Heroes. It's a field spell. All Celestial Hero monsters on the field gain 1,000 attack and defense once per turn. You can activate one of these following effects for the corresponding monsters on the field that you control. Satellite Cannon, it cannot be targeted by card effects or by battle, even if this card leaves the field. Elemental Hero Neos, it can attack twice. And then Celestial Hero Cyber Girl, it can attack your opponent's life points directly. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card. So it has a quick effect. You can shuffle this card into the deck, destroy all cards on the field, and then both players take 2,000 damage for each destroyed card from each player, or from each player's graveyards. So, like, if your opponent had 20 cards in their graveyard and you had 10, you basically, like, both of you would lose the duel. If your opponent had 30 cards and, how I got this idea when I was making this card was sometimes when a spaceship crashes into, like, onto a planet, usually sometimes there's no survivors on it. So it basically, that's only sometimes. But most of the time, the survivors are just people that are are smart, like Subnautica. So this isn't part of the archetype, but I just created it because of, yeah, for Guardian. So Gift of the Guardians. It's quick play. If you control a Guardian monster on the field, you can activate this card from your hand or deck. You can select one other Guardian monster from your deck or hand, special summon it to your field in attack mode. But during the remainders of the duel, all monsters that would be sent to the graveyard or banished, but instead is shuffled into the owner's decks instead. So basically, like how Raphael, wanted to, like, create a, like, he doesn't want any of his monsters to go to the graveyard. So I made this card. So if he had this in the anime, he would have won the duel. So yeah. So I wanted to create it because I was like trying to create the other ones. So now we got break the fourth wall of the Sinestral. If your Sinestral hero monster that already attacked, you can pay 1,000 life points, make it attack again up to 3 times. So basically, what it means is like, oh, I am done. Activates this card, and your opponent, or you can attack again. It's like there's this, like, say, example would be this monster. Like, she already attacked. And you use this spell card, and she can go from 1,000 attack to 4,000 attack. Like, attacks. Yeah. So now we're on to the 2 spell cards. This one, called Satellite Cannon Ultimate Shot, is basically this card can only be equipped to Satellite Cannon monster on the field. And it gains 4,000 attack / defense. And also it can attack your opponent's life points directly. It's supposed to be if this card is sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from to the banish zone, destroy all cards on your opponent's shield. So this is like basically when it's equipped to the satellite cannon, and then because you know how its effect here. This card gains like 1,000 attack. Well, this one gives it the 3 times as much. And then but there's an ultimate upgraded form of it, named Satellite Cannon Super Ultimate Shot, where you had to tribute the one that was before, the Satellite Cannon Ultimate Shot spell card, to the graveyard, and then this card is equipped to the satellite cannon monster, and it gains 8,000 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can shovel one card from your graveyard or banish zone into your deck. The equipped monster gains 2,000. So basically, it has 1 million. So like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 until the end of the turn. If the equipped monster gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can shuffle or you can send this card to the graveyard instead of it. You can only activate each effect for once per turn. So yeah. And then there's only one trap card. Gas Room of the Celestial Heroes. So this card can only be activated if your opponent declares an attack or activates a card effect. You can pay 100 life points, negate it, and banish it to the banish zone. And if it does, then your opponent takes 2,000 damage to their life points. You can only use each effect of this card for once per turn. So because you're basically destroying their cards and you're inflicting damage to your opponent, you're basically putting them in the gas room with nothing, like no oxygen mask or anything. You're just putting them in the gas room and just be like, oh no! Yeah. Because my favorite cards that I just reviewed, real quick, see how long this video took. Let's see. Perfect. So, I'll pick one spell, one trap, and one monster. So, of this card. So, of this custom cards. First is my Goddess of the Celestial Heroes owns as the monster that I chose. And for the spell card is break the fourth wall of the Celestials. And yeah, so this card, I like how it it basically has the effect where you basically can make your opponent believe that they're like, oh no, am I dead? And then you attack again. Well, bam! Kabooyah! Yeah. So up to 3 times. So like basically if you use it on, like say, the soul of this, you can activate this card again and also like this to be equipped to one of your opponent's monsters. And so, yeah. And then a trap card, this one. Because you're basically like, just imagine like a player that's like, you're dueling against, play the Dark Magician deck and summons Dark Magician. And you have this trap card out on the field. You basically, your opponent, like, declares an attack, like, using Dark Magician comes in. He thinks that he won. Don't activate my truck card. Cast room of the Celestial Heroes. This truck card allows me to basically negate it by paying 100 life points. And then, but your monster is now banished. So basically, so Dark Magician, if it was animated, it would have been like Dark Magician inside of a room and having like gas filling it up. And like, yeah, all that stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. But my least favorite ones that I kind of understand, but I know I made that, but the wordings are just too weird. Like, there's this one that's there's three actually. One is this one, where I basically boost my monsters like satellite cannon to like have over 5,000, and then because of the end phase, and then you can tribute it to special summon or to have this card equipped to it instead. And then it makes it have a 1,000,000 or so, like basically 11,000 attack points, and you basically, it can attack your opponent's life points directly. That seems insane. And yeah. Plus, if you use the field spell to like make him attack directly, you could instant win by just boom. Yeah. But the one of the cards that I don't truly understand, but I created it, is Gift of the Guardians. Basically, if you control a guardian monster on the field, you can activate this card. All that stuff. You basically, if you have Guardian Elma on the field, you could summon Guardian Grawl. And then Guardian Grawl would had like, okay, and during the rest of the duel, or during the remaining of the duel, you basically shuffle cards back into your deck, basically. So like Guardian Grawl and all the monsters, instead of going to the graveyard to activate their effects, you can special summon them. Or you can shuffle them back into the deck. So yeah. So it seems pretty powerful card, if I must say. Like, just imagine if these were real printed cards, they would have been like tier 0 or something like that. So, and have a good night or day, depends on the time zones, and yeah. Go check out the video before this video, where I was basically had to, or not had to, but I wanted to make the What if Deku was Wind Destroyer? Or Monster? So, yeah. Have a good night or day. Depends on time zones. Peace.